At your working cowboy store, Hickman Saddlery in Post Falls sells its saddles and other products all over the world, and even opened a second store in Canada 3 years ago. Here is Derek Dice with our latest Made in the Northwest story.
Bob Hickman has been doing leatherwork for a long time.
Well, my mom bought me a tooling kit when I was 12, and then just kind of went on from there.
He got a degree in agriculture, but then dropped out of saddle making school in 1981.
Opened up my own shop and lived happily ever after.
Today, Hickman Saddlery in Post Falls has 8 employees in its 5,000 square foot store, and another 3 employees up in Canada who specialize in custom saddles and shaps. The saddles start at $1,600 and go up from there depending on how fancy you want it.
We did a saddle for Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Happy Trails Children's Foundation about 3 years ago, and it went for $65,000, but it was loaded with silver.
Each saddle is completely handmade and takes about 30 to 35 hours to make. The saddle making process starts by fitting your horse for the tree, the foundation of the saddle.
We go out and we travel, and I've been to Edmonton fitting horses.
After fitting you, Hickman's craftsmen cut out all of the pieces and go to work.
We have a custom order blank there, and he follows that order blank all the way down.
The exact height of mine.
The tooling is done by Hickman's own nephew, Chad, who he calls one of the best in the world.
The tooling is kind of the cherry on top of the cake. So it's the decorative part, and we can do whatever you want.
Shaps and chinks, a shorter kind of work shap, are also a huge part of the business. They make about 1,200 to 1,500 pair a year.
We build rodeo shaps for royalty, rodeo queens, rodeo bull riders, bareback riders, working people, trail riders.
But that's not all Hickman makes. Its suspenders are shipped all over the world.
We've got stores in Australia that have our suspenders. We have stores Istanbul, Turkey, Denmark, Sweden, Ireland, England, Japan, Mexico.
It even makes novelty items like fly swatters and toilet seat covers, which a famous general happened to buy at a show for his cabin.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is General Norman Schwarzkopf, and he comes over and he spends probably, it felt like a half an hour, but I think it was probably more like a minute and a half.
And Hickman completely stands behind every one of its products.
If you get one of our saddles, you don't like it, something isn't exactly what you wanted, we'll build you another saddle.
And after more than 3 decades in the business, Hickman says he just wants to keep living the dream.
Well, the harder you work at something, the more your dreams are going to come true, and that's basically what happened.
For Made in the Northwest, I'm Derek Dice, KXLY 4 News.
Thanks for watching KXLY 4.